Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Buck Theater, and apparently, Ant-Man 3 is getting a little bit of media attention. Arguably, a little bit on the odd side, considering the rumor we heard a month ago was almost the exact opposite of this. So it's a little bit of he said, she said, and of course, we're going to look at that. But first things first, according to the Disney Insider here, or the Dis Insider, Marvel Studios reportedly moving forward with Ant-Man 3. Now, I love the first Ant-Man. I thought Ant-Man and the Wasp was okay, unnecessary. I mean, it was a setup, obviously, for Ant-Man's inclusion in Endgame, but other than that, it was largely standalone with not a lot going for it. It just was one of the lower films that like no stakes. There was like nothing there, and it was very weird that it appeared when it did. Anyway. This is what it says here. This past summer during Comic-Con and D23, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige shared Phase 4 plans and this talking all about the Black Widow, Eternal, Shang-Chi, Thor, all that stuff. But there was no mention of Ant-Man. Now, thanks to a new report, Scott Lang may be returning very soon. And it should be fair to point out that Scott Lang, Paul Rudd, Ant-Man in Endgame was a big fan favorite stuff. It was he was great in that movie. So I do want to see him return, even though I'm critical of the films. I love the character. So according to Charles Murphy from the Murphy's Law podcast, Marvel Studios has made the decision to move ahead with a third Ant-Man film. Also reports that the movie is looking to begin production sometime in 2021, as apparently Pym Particles Productions the Third LLC was formed over a month ago, which seems like the production house that's going to be handling the movie, which makes me really ask the question, I know it's a Marvel Studios production, but are they starting to now break apart into subcategories, right? Kind of like Ghost Corps under Sony Pictures is what's handling the entirety of the Ghostbusters universe inside Sony. Is this going to be Pym Particles Productions the Third, or just three? Is this going to end up being a production company that's going to be handling a lot more in regards to Ant-Man? Not maybe a movie, but maybe something else, because it feels like there might be more to the world of Ant-Man that we get to see on the horizon. It just feels weird to me to have that be done when they haven't done that yet for anything else. Okay, so this is what he says here. Marvel Studios made the decision to move ahead with a third Ant-Man film about 2 weeks ago. He here was told to expect the summer of 2021 for filming. And yesterday he found hard evidence. What he was looking for, Pym Particles Productions, formed a little over a month ago. So, yeah. So what we have is that. We have that original, or not that original. We have this new rumor. But going back to a little over a month ago. Actually, no, not a little over a month ago. A month ago tomorrow, there was a report. This was coming out from Mikey Sutton that said Paul Rudd's Ant-Man 3 canceled will be replaced by Disney Plus miniseries. So that seems more accurate for where things are going to go with the character, considering the fact that Paul Rudd is currently starring in a Netflix show, I think that opens tomorrow, called Living with Myself. And where he plays like a weird kind of like clone of himself. Think of a darker version of Multiplicity starring Michael Keaton. Anyway, there's that. So it says here, the rumor indicates that Paul Rudd's Ant-Man 3 is canceled, but the future Ant-Man stories will be told on Disney+. The rumor comes from Mikey Sutton, where he writes, I found out before D23 that the sequel to Ant-Man and the Wasp wasn't going to be announced there. He details that there won't be Ant-Man and the Wasp sequel film, but instead will be Ant-Man miniseries, saying that it's headed to Disney+ in the form of a miniseries, although this could change. Now, it's a rumor, it's speculation, it's theory. All of these things could fundamentally change, obviously. But I wanted to take a look at why I think the Disney Plus angle is probably going to be more accurate, because this is the box office mojo page for Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? Or for Ant-Man, sorry. Came out July 17, 2015. This film is rumored to drop July 2021, or July 2022. Sorry, it will film in July 2021. It had a production budget of about $130 million. And it pulled in a worldwide gross of $519 million, which isn't bad. Isn't bad at all. It did pretty well even domestically with $180 million domestic, $339 million international. That's not bad at all. But looking over here at Ant-Man and the Wasp, It had a total domestic gross of 216 million. So that's not much more than the last movie. They didn't release its production budget, but we could estimate that it was somewhere around the same area. But it did gross 100 million more, with 622 million, with a much larger overseas take home of 406 million. So obviously, Ant-Man is popular enough to warrant getting a third film. It just seems to make the most amount of sense that it would get a third movie. But looking at the slate for Phase 4, looking at what we know over the course of the next 2 years, there's a lot going on. A few movies, and there's going to be a bunch of TV shows. And if this thing is filming for, and these are not, I should point out, these are not TV shows like traditional. These are getting movie studio level budgets, right? We're hearing that a lot of these shows are going to have like budgets of like 200 million. So if the production budget for a movie is around 130 to let's say 175, it would make sense that if they were going to do a mini series, that it would get roughly around the same scale of budget. They'd just be able to, I think, stretch it out a bit more. Still look great, but stretch it out a bit more. And it seems to me, and this is kind of, again, the idea that we've had coming off of Disney Plus, what we've known about Disney Plus forever, is that Feige's going to want to be able to put other characters that may not be able to fit in theatrically right now, but put them on Disney Plus in these limited event series shows. These aren't continuations, right? So it's like, while we have The Mandalorian currently working on season 2, The Falcon and Winter Soldier is not going to have a season 2 potentially. Miss Marvel is not going to have a season 2 potentially. That's going to be an introduction into Kamala Khan, and then she's going to go into the movies. He already said that. These movies, or these characters, are getting these shows that are just introductions or continuations or conclusions of stories. So it makes sense that potentially Ant-Man could get something more aimed for Disney Plus, especially looking at a 2022 bid, which we're going to find out more about probably in 2021. That's not to say that they're not going to do a movie. The movie's probably going to pull in a lot more money theatrically than, let's say, on Disney Plus. But it could also be that they are afraid that 100 million more internationally or worldwide between films isn't enough to warrant the budget, which is true. Usually you want them to make a lot more money. And like I said, Ant-Man and the Wasp was extremely low stakes. Nothing really happened. Not a bad movie, just kind of pointless in the pantheon of MCU films, which is why they may want to try to reboot the character. And I mean that by creating more of an episodic take where they can then do a slow build to the finale and give us a good conclusion. It also depends on whether or not Paul Rudd wants to do it. I have no idea. But that's currently where we stand. I don't know what's going to happen with this. It could be anything. Either way, it's going to be fun. We'll have to wait to find out more. But this is just my theory, my thoughts. What about you? What do you guys have to say about this? Let me know down in the comments below. I will talk to you all later. Have yourself a fantastic day. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, and type Ant-Man if you made it this far, because I know that you all love me and you want to do that anyway. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great one, and peace out.